things just got really intense for the Baltimore Ravens, and it's all because of stuff happening around the league. Team, keep it clean so we can get into it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on. Leave a like on the video because it helps out a lot so you can stay up to date with everything going down with all Ravens. Derrick Henry and Ronnie Stanley. Those are two premier Baltimore Ravens players. Now, they are both in two completely different situations. Ronnie Stanley is a pending free agent. Will the Baltimore Ravens allow him to even sniff free agency? Only time will tell, but it really ain't that much time left. But with Derrick Henry, he's not a free agent. He's under contract this year, but he doesn't have any guaranteed money left on his deal. So what's so intense about that? Yeah, you try to re-sign Ronnie Stanley. You try to re-sign Derrick Henry. Now, with Ronnie Stanley, it's been said that the Patriots, who apparently have the most money, the most salary cap in the NFL, they would be significantly interested in Ronnie Stanley. So Baltimore Ravens, if they're going to keep Ronnie Stanley and keep hearing from multiple people like, hey, Ravens got a deal in place. Ravens, they got a contract offer for Ronnie Stanley. Everything is set for Ronnie Stanley. All you got to do is sign. But he hasn't signed anything yet. And I think the more Ronnie Stanley and his team and his agent, they hear about all these potential teams being interested in him. And he has said, hey, he loves the Baltimore Ravens. He wants to stay with the Baltimore Ravens. And I get that. But the more that he may hear all these other teams are interested in him, especially teams with a lot of money, he could think about, oh, I can make that much. Oh, really? At this point in my career? Oh, okay. And I wonder if that would make him, whatever he's talking about with the Ravens, the contract negotiations, I wonder if him and his camp will put a pause on those negotiations to be like, you know what? Let's go see what free agency has to offer us. That would be real cold. But now, the Patriots, they're one team that's apparently interested in Ronnie Stanley, but another is the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs just traded Joe Thuney to the Chicago Bears. So they're in need of some offensive line help. And you know one thing about them Chiefs, it don't matter what their salary cap is looking like. They find a way to get it done. They're always adding talent, always looking for ways to get much better than they already are. So imagine Ronnie Stanley going to the Chiefs. Ooh, that would hurt our souls big time. But the closer we get to free agency, the closer that we get there and Ronnie Stanley still doesn't have a deal, then those possibilities rise that he may no longer be a Baltimore Raven. So we just waiting for that notification. Oh, the Baltimore Ravens have reached a 2-year or 3-year contract agreement with Ronnie Stanley. But until then, we wait. Now, Derrick Henry, again, he's in a different situation than Ronnie Stanley because Derrick Henry is under contract with the Baltimore Ravens, but that contract, it ain't guaranteed. And Derrick Henry, you don't just rush for over 1,900 yards, a bunch of touchdowns, and you just consistently making plays for the Baltimore Ravens. You don't just do that and then the following year, oh, I ain't got no guarantees in my contract anymore. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Oh, no. Especially when another running back, different situation now, but when another running back who was in the same free agency class as you last year, got signed to a new team just like you did last year, ran for a whole lot of yards just like you did last year, even though he got over 2,000. Derrick Henry was real close to 2,000. He was less than 100 yards away. That being Saquon Barkley, he just got a brand new contract. But how could that possibly impact Derrick Henry? Well, Saquon Barkley's contract, he signed a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension that makes him the highest paid running back in NFL history. So Saquon Barkley got some bread. It said the deal makes Saquon Barkley the NFL's first $20 million per year running back. And say he also has the ability to earn an additional $15 million in incentives and escalators. So I'm sure that's for maybe number of touchdown score, maybe rushing yards or whatnot, maybe his yards per carry. It could be a lot of different things. But he has an opportunity to earn an additional $15 million. And then get this, it says the deal includes $36 million fully guaranteed at signing. Whew, that boy is getting some bread. Now, Derrick Henry as opposed to Saquon Barkley. Is Derrick Henry in his prime? No. Still a baller, obviously. Still could play, obviously. Still like that, obviously. Still one of them guys, obviously. But Derrick Henry is not in the age bracket of a Saquon Barkley, but still one of the best running backs in the league. And if Derrick Henry, with him having come out publicly and said, oh, I want to stay with the Ravens, I want to be a Raven, I want to retire a Raven, I'm playing with the quarterback that I always wanted to play with, that's great. But where the pressure comes in at is the fact that Eric DeCosta, he's also publicly stated, hey, I want to keep Derrick Henry. I want Derrick Henry to stay. We want Derrick Henry to stay. We want Derrick Henry to retire Baltimore Raven. We want to keep Derrick Henry around. So you publicly said that. So it's out there. It's written down. We got plenty of videos where we talked about it too. But with Eric DeCosta having made those comments, now it's like, all right, put your money where your mouth is. And well, we don't expect Derrick Henry to get what Saquon Barkley got. Derrick Henry and his camp, they could still put pressure on Eric DeCosta, Steve Bisciotti, and be like, look, okay, we ain't even going to ask for all of that. But you really got to cough up some bread. Because we need to be getting paid our value. We need to be getting paid what we're worth. I know a lot of fans are like, hey, hometown discount, take a discount for the team. You want to stay, you need to take a discount. These players are trying to get paid. They trying to get their bread. They trying to get their money. This is their job. This is their livelihood. Now, again, we talked about how Eric DeCosta made the comments about Derrick Henry. He also said the same thing about Ronnie Stanley too. And we get it. Like, hey, just because a GM is out there, he says it publicly, hey, we want to keep this player, we want to keep that player, it doesn't always happen. And it's on the flip side too. Players will say, oh, I want to stay with this team, I want to stay with this team, and it doesn't always happen. So we get that. But still, there's a lot of pressure right now for the Baltimore Ravens to get both of these deals done. Will the Baltimore Ravens be able to face the pressure? Will they be able to make it happen? Only time will tell. How does that saying go again? You look good, you feel good. Well, Chubbies, they got me doing exactly that. I got on my Chubbies Friday shirt right now, and I dropped the button just to make it look extra good. And it's not only lightweight, but it's comfortable as well. See, Chubbies is where comfort meets game day vibes. So whether you want to go to a sports bar, if you're on the way to brunch, if you're getting ready to tailgate, or if you're on your way to whatever stadium, Chubbies will have you looking right. While we're heavily invested in the game, our teams got us stressing out, and we screaming, jumping up and down, going crazy. We want to make sure we look good while we doing all of that. First, let me tell you about the shorts. Boom shakalaka. My favorite part, especially if you're going to be wearing them for tailgating, they're stretchy. These original stretch shorts put Chubbies on the map for a reason. They're available in 4-inch, 5.5-inch, and 7-inch inseam length. So it all just depends on how much of them beautiful thighs you want to show off when you're wearing them. And when you pair those shorts with these Friday shirts from Chubbies, ooh, it's game over, my friend. And you know, here at Team Keep It Clean, we always talk about how much we love versatility, and that's exactly what these shirts bring. From casual button downs to more retro inspired prints, these shirts are built for acting a little crazy, or if you want to take a more chill approach. Either way. Now, since I know you know this looks really, really good, imagine how much better it will look on you. Now, how can you get your hands on some Chubbies clothing? Well, you know, I gotta let you know, Chubbies is here to help you take on 2025 in style, starting with the comfiest, most versatile gear you've ever worn. For a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving our listeners 20% off with the promo code Ingraven20 at checkout at chubbyshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with the promo code Ingraven20. Support our show and tell them that we sent you. No matter where 2025 takes you, Chubbies has the gear to keep you comfortable and looking your best. So now we reach my favorite part of these videos, where we get to feature your questions. If you'd like to take part in it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send your question directly on Patreon. First question came from my guy Josiah. He said, star for star. It's my first time leaving a message, and I hope all is well with you and the family. Appreciate that, Josiah. Thank you for being willing to send in a question. So I appreciate you, man. He said, love your content and I'm proud to be a part of Ravens Flock from California. I know you talked recently about Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams as potential players who could strengthen our passing attack. That being the case, I had a thought after seeing that DK has requested a trade from Seattle. Since we have a familiar face coaching in Seattle, do you think it's possible we could do a straight trade of Mark Andrews for DK Metcalf? I think DK will complement our Ravens well, and if Seattle is running the risk of losing their star, why not replace him with another proven star? Interesting there. Yeah, that would be something right there. And that familiarity, because that's what it's all about in life, but certainly in NFL, it's about who you know, whether you're a player, whether you're a GM, a head coach, whatever it is, because who you know will be the ones who end up providing you with opportunities, and that's real. So Mark Andrews for DK Metcalf, straight up, I wouldn't mind that. Because we talked about how if DK Metcalf were to be added to the Ravens, where he would be, I think he would be taking Mark Andrews' targets. He would be taking Mark Andrews and Nelson Aguilar's targets mixed together with both. Because Isaiah Likely, obviously, he would be our number one tight end at that point. But with DK Metcalf, because there were a lot of 2 tight end sets, obviously, with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. And they still could run some of those too with Charlie Kolar and Isaiah Likely. But I think if you add DK Metcalf to the mix, you got to change some stuff up. And I don't think that would be a problem. Obviously, you don't want to fix what's not broken. But with our offense, we have proven to be tight end friendly. Obviously, we're running back friendly, obviously. But we're wide receiver friendly as well. And times have certainly changed for our Baltimore Ravens in a big way. So I wouldn't mind if they did that. Mike McDonald put in a little favor for John Harbaugh on the Ravens. That'd be cool. Next question came from my guy, Conscience. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hopefully the family is great and healthy. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you, man. He said, I just want to give you your flowers for a second. Get it? Ooh. Whoa. That's wow. Did y'all catch that? He said, I just want to give you your flowers for a second. Get it, Zay Flowers for a second round. You better not. I like the wordplay. I don't like what you said, but I like the word. Anyway, he said, anyway, some people like myself use Ravens or sports in general as a vice, meaning when things get hard in life, we have nothing to turn to. We know we have those things to depend on, and you, Ingraven, play a big part in it and in our lives. So please just remember, whenever you're feeling discouraged, always never forget that you give most of us courage. Thank you, Ingraven. I appreciate that, man. That's real, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. For real, man. I appreciate that. He said, P.S. Ronnie Stanley would have caught that pass. Hey, we'll never know, man. We'll never know, because Lamar got sacked, and we didn't even get the opportunity to see it. I wasn't mad at them. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why would the Ravens do that in that situation? We got Derrick. I get that. But Ravens they wanted to throw them off. But it is what it is. He said, and just like Ingraven, when he say he's a GOAT, I'm out. No. He said, just like Ingraven, when we say he's a GOAT, I don't never say that. But he said, I'm out. I appreciate you, man. Ooh, next question came from my guy, OMG. Ain't heard from you in a little minute. He said, hey, Ingraven, hope you and your family have been doing well. Once the Ravens lost to the Bills in the most heartbreaking way, I took a month or 2 off from football, even by unsubscribing from you. Well, he kept it real. He was straight up, and I respect it. I don't like that, but I respect it. He said, of course not because I had anything against you, LOL. It's all good, my friend. He said in Twitter, to just get my mind off from being a fan who constantly gets their hopes high and then left disappointed for now 6 years as a Ravens fan. But I am back, and I may have come at a good time. He said, I saw the news that not only Davante Adams got released, but I see Tyler Lockett getting released and DK Metcalf asked for a trade. What? He said, I know our priority is beefing up the O-line and defensive line, but EDC says he wants to get a big body receiver. He did say that. He said that this offseason too. In that interview with I forgot who he was interviewing with, but he said that the Ravens have tried and obviously it hasn't worked out so well for them, but he said it. He said, there are some ties with Davante saying he watches Lamar's film for his jukes and wanted to play for Lamar. Then you see DK Metcalf fits that big body receiver profile in his prime and Ravens fans wanting him. Do you think EDC tries to pursue one or both of them in your opinion? I bet you will want both. I like you. I like you. He said, glad to be back and let's go team. Keep it clean. I would love it. You already know. I mean, you've been around the channel for a long time, my friend. So you already know how I'm feeling about it. But I don't think he will go after DK Metcalf. I don't think he will go after Davante Adams either. I don't think he will go after either one. I would love if he did, and then obviously landed one of them, but I don't think he will. Somebody else that you mentioned in your email is who I actually think EDC would go after, that being Tyler Lockett. Because Davante Adams and DK Metcalf were both of those guys. EDC would have to give up something to receivers and just players in general that he would not, that he prefers not to give. With DK Metcalf, he would have to give up draft picks. EDC don't like giving up draft picks, but he would have to give up draft picks and give DK Metcalf a contract. With Davante Adams, he would have to give up significant, not the craziest money in the world, because Davante Adams is getting a little older now, but he would still have to give up some significant money to a wide receiver. And that's just not something that the Ravens typically do. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. for that 1 year, $18 million deal, that was crazy. That was a one-off, though. Ravens never do stuff like that. And we can't realistically expect them to do it now all of a sudden.